In Ukraine, the mayor of Kyiv says the city is under missile attack and paramedics have been sent to 2 districts. There have been explosions and falling wreckage. Elsewhere in the country, air raid alerts were issued for Kherson, Mykolaiv and Odessa. More from our Ukraine correspondent Gulliver Cragg.
So it was ballistic missiles that hit Kyiv around about 5 a.m. local time. Ballistic missiles take only a few minutes to fly from Russian territory to the Ukrainian capital. So far, in terms of damage, I've heard about 3 people being wounded, 2 of them hospitalized, non-residential buildings being damaged. I've seen a couple of photos. They look to me like office buildings, but I don't know exactly what they were. There were fires in at least 2 districts of the Ukrainian capital. At least 8 cars were damaged, but we haven't heard about any deaths or large numbers of casualties. But perhaps it's too early to be sure if there aren't going to be more reports of damage due to this attack on Kyiv. It wasn't only Kyiv that was targeted, though. At around the same time as the ballistic missiles hit the capital, the Ukrainian Air Force was warning about cruise missiles which take longer to fly to Ukraine. They seem to have been launched from somewhere near the Caspian Sea, flying towards the country, and eventually the air alert went off across the whole of Ukraine, and several regions are reported to be targeted, but we don't yet have any information about whether those strikes were shot down, whether they hit their targets. Of course, if they were military or industrial targets, we may never hear about it, but perhaps it's just too early to say whether or not there are any civilian casualties as a result of this attack. But it certainly was a massive attack across the whole country. Something else that will be interesting to look out for is whether or not energy infrastructure was targeted. In the past, Russian large-scale strikes of this type using large numbers of cruise missiles have almost always targeted power stations and other elements of Ukraine's electricity grid. Now, theoretically, a ceasefire is in place and they shouldn't be targeting those kinds of things. So we'll see later in the day whether or not they did.